Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am Benji, bringing you yet another game from the City Hunter StarCraft 2 Charity Relief Tournament. This is the finals, Game 2. We do have in the bottom here on Metalopolis aLtPiG as the blue Zerg player. Currently 1-0 up in this best of 5, so played very well in the first game. Can he come through it and continue that in the second game here? We do have cross positions here on Metalopolis, and the opposite position we do have TARossi as the purple Terran player here. You know, it is a best of 5, and Pig has come from the upper bracket, so Rossi's going to be a bit worried now. He's like, well, my opponent's just smashed me once in a nice 30-minute game, and he's also won the upper bracket, whereas I actually lost a few games. I've played very hard today. My opponent's chilled, relaxed. Regardless, we'll see what he can do. We do have that low bottom of the ramp wall, and it's going to happen from Rossi, or he's just going to place a depot there. No, he's going to have a wall in at the bottom. It makes no sense not to when you build this play depot here. So walling off the barracks so nothing can scout him easily, so he can do whatever he wants. It's always good when you're hiding your build from a Zerg player, but it's also risky, because if you don't get a few units out, they can quite easily pick it off with roaches and stuff like that. Roach is quite strong against this lower ramp wall, and something you've got to be mindful of. What's Pig going to do? I mean, who knows? He might actually kind of... Like last game, obviously, Rossi did the same thing. That bottom of the ramp walling, he might go, well, you know what? 7 Roach Rush is quite strong. Because it's... Well, the reason it's strong in this position against the one at the top of the ramp is that against the top of the ramp, you either need to slide up there with an Overlord, or you don't... If you want to walk up the ramp, you don't get a good concave. It's really awkward to do. Whereas here, it's really easy to pick this stuff off. So we'll see if that happens. I don't think it will. I'm just looking at the builder's pool coming out from Pig, actually cancelling the pool. Interesting choice there. Possibly realizes maybe he can get a hatch first down. Realize it's perhaps cross position. I'm not sure. He sent his Overlord to the close by ground position straight away, which is quite an interesting choice there. And he actually did scout that position too. So he sent his Overlord to the position he scouted first with his drones. So most obviously Zerg players send it to the close air position, so you can scout this location out first. You do scout that obviously a lot faster that way, whereas the scouting of this Overlord doesn't quite get there fast enough. Regardless, a lot of talking. Let's see what else is going on. Rossi getting his second racks, so opening 2 racks. Now, I don't think he's going to pressure with this. The reason I said it is because it is cross-map, although Rossi could prove me wrong here. We do the SCV sort of walking around. He's going to try and build a bunker somewhere. Probably not. He's just going to run away, unless he wants to start bunker hopping from over here. Does not make any sense at all. But yeah, 2 racks mainly just to get a bunch of Marines out, which keeps you quite safe against you know, any sort of lings. Gives you lets you be a threat. That's the thing. If you go 1 racks expand, all of a sudden it's like, oh, Zerg will expand and they'll get a bunch of drones. 2 racks, you kind of have the ability to attack, although none of this is even spotted. If I were Rossi, actually, personally, I would be rallying this second barracks away from this ramp, so that if it was spotted here, if lings came in, they couldn't actually count the Marines and tell how many barracks were made because of that. But I'm nitpicking, whatever. There are 4 Marines moving across the map here for Rossi. Obviously, wants to clear out the tower. It has been spotted by his drone, but the drone is not going to move away. Actually, the Marines are just going to walk straight past it. That's cool. Just please check the towers, no way past, guys. Seriously, get free drone kills, and drones are pretty awesome this early in the game. But he's going to push forward. Unit-wise, he's getting a few lings out, pulling a few drones down to the bottom. Good transfer. Transfers almost all of them. Possibly worried about some sort of bunker harassment, which is exactly what's going down right now. Here come the drones. No, it's going to sit here. Idle. Let's return your minerals. A few more lings come out. In fact, SCV's being pulled too by Rossi. Oh, this is terrible work. Well, not terrible, actually. It's actually a good choice there, just to move up the ramp there, possibly sacrifice this bottom base. Realizes he cannot beat that, and it's just going to be content to sit on this one base for a little bit. Now, the question is, what's preventing him from coming up the ramp? The banelings. Okay, so he's going to use the banelings here to obviously be defensive. He just waits for the banelings to come up, be as patient as possible, because that's a lot of SCVs. In fact, I believe that's all of them. In fact, a Marine even getting killed off there by those broodlings that pop out of that hatchery. But he's going to sell it and move back. A smart move, obviously. Rossi, he sees all the units run up the ramp, realizing he's only really killed the hatchery. Now, he has killed the hatchery, and all he's cost him is a little bit of mining time. But at the same time, 2 lings have walked into this base. They have killed off the mule, and another SCV as well. That's actually pretty major. So right now, there's no mining going on, but also those 2 lings scout the command center coming down here. So Pig's going to feel pretty confident. Now, Pig has 2 choices right now. One is to macro up, and it looks like he might be doing that. He's getting the second hatchery. One is to just like get a lot of drones, play risky, maybe even get burrowed banelings and try and sort of catch an army with them to get back in this game, because he is behind, don't get me wrong. The other option is to just all in. To hope that your opponent is kind of like being greedy, trying to expand and take at the same time, which we don't actually see. Rossi apologising for that. Yeah, it's not very good manner, obviously, to pull your SCVs as Terran, even though they continue to do it every second game. But Pig here is just droning up a bit. He's getting out this hatchery. He's still droning. So a lot of Zergs, including myself, after that, I would all in. I would get Banelings. I would make as many Lings as I can. I'd get Ling speed done. Pig's like, you know what? I think I can catch back up here. It's not completely out of the question. He's only lost a hatchery. Now, it's only 300 minerals, plus he's also lost all the production from that. And it's also forced him to make a lot of buildings and cut a lot of mining time. That's decent, but he hasn't killed that many drones. He still has a decent drone count. Getting a roach warren now, actually, drone count right now, it is 29 versus 21. So as far as drones go, I've got to say, Pig is probably ahead in that regard. As far as army goes, he is actually not too bad, actually, I've got to say. We do have those Lings coming down here, killing off this rack, this bottom supply depot. And he pokes in there thinking he can get a free Marine, but unfortunately there are a bunch more Marines following this up. But Pig, I think, is back in this game, I've got to say. Like, Rossi didn't do enough damage to really give him that massive of a lead. His orbital command is now up, and he has dropped a mill from it. But he's not really attacking at all. He's getting a factory now. Okay, there's his tech. I lied. He's sorry. Also attacked his own command center for a second there, but sees the Oval, I think that's what he wanted. And he's going to take that out, obviously. Just was poking in, seeing what's going on. Didn't actually see that much. Actually did see the factory. It's an interesting thing. Let's check that out. Did actually see the factory building. So, right now, Pig knows exactly what's going on. He sees, obviously, 3 racks. He sees the, I believe he sees 3 racks at least, but he also sees the orbital command going down. So he can feel pretty safe. He's going to take a 3rd base now as well, which is a good choice. He sees his opponents expand. He's like, yeah, you've only got Marines. Probably not going to push with just Marines at this point, because I have Speedlings and can get Banelings. He has a Baneling nest up. Also, his lair is almost completed. It's going to be, basically, Rossi's next push will have to be with tanks. That's just how it is. If he's going to push like Marine Marauder, something like that, yeah, it can kind of work, but he hasn't even started Stim yet. And from now on, pushing without Stim and without tanks, it's just asking to lose your army. It's not efficient. It doesn't happen. So Pig, being the smart player that he is, he's training up. He realizes, hey, Rossi can't be aggressive right now. He just doesn't have the tech for it. And as you can see, Banelings are popping out for Pig to be extra safe. So he's just going to draw it up, get an econ advantage here. We do have, I believe, him shooting his own SCV for a second. Oh, no, there was a Ling there. My bad, sorry. Ling was just poking in, checking what's up. Sees the bunker, sees the double racks at the bottom there. There'll be tanks coming out of this one, this factory at the top here. 4th racks is up as well, getting a tech level on that. Also, he has started Stim now. That's good, okay. So that's a fairly late Stim. It is almost 11 minutes in the game when Stim is underway. Usually you see it around the 7-8 minute mark. But, you know, he did pull his SCVs, and that did cut down a lot of his mining time. Obviously, you can't mine when your SCVs are at the front lines trying to kill the Zerg still. Tanks are starting to come out now, so Siege Tech is about halfway done. We could start seeing pushes now. I mean, that period I was talking about where tanks and Stim isn't really, you can't push without it. Yeah, that's kind of starting to end now, because Stim's almost getting there, Siege Tech's almost finished there. We almost expect a push here from Rossi. We do have a scouting here from Rossi, just one SCV just to see what's up. Wanted to scout out this base without scanning it. Obviously, sending a single SCV is a lot more efficient than actually scanning. In fact, did he scan? I thought I heard a scan. Maybe my ears just going. But these towers here, in fact, he's got a drone there. Should swap that for a Ling at this point in the game, but still. When you try and send an SCV past these towers and they have them, they're just going to catch them with Lings if they're on the ball, which has been unfortunate. Missile turrets are up, and that's nice timing there by Rossi. Spire, who's only just sort of started. It's only the 3rd done, so early, obviously, but he's just like, yeah, you know what? I'm a bit scared for mules. I don't want them coming in and killing my entire mineral line in a shot. And we do have a Siege Tank took a shot somewhere. He probably killed a Ling. They're good at that. Starport coming out from Rossi, and he's starting to get to the point where he needs to start pushing. I gotta say, Rossi, he's starting to fall behind. I know, he's just people are like, what? But no one's done anything. How's he falling behind? But Zerg macro is so crazy, like to the point where, oh, actually Helion here, and he's killed off. Obviously, it was just scouting Helion. Did you see that hatchery? Actually, that's an interesting question. Did not see this 4th base. There you go. That's interesting. See, once Zerg starts taking off, once they get a good amount of drones, and right now Pig is on at 55 to 42, but if another 5 to 10 were made, and speaking of that 5 to 10, they are being made, Zerg's econ just starts taking off. They start being able to build a lot of stuff at once, like see these Lings pop out. Terran can't do that. Protoss can't do that. Only Zerg can. If they get a lot of drones and they have a bigger army and you don't punish them for that, comes to a push like this and you're going to get crushed. And I'm sorry, Rossi, but this is a really small army compared to what we're seeing over here from Pig. There's a lot of Lings, a lot of Banes. They have Bane speed. Creepers up there as well. That drone does finally get killed. That was sitting there the whole game. But this is spotted. Now, he comes to engagement, and Stim he's stimming now. But he needs to wrap around those Lings, around those Banelings here. He does catch them in a hurdle there, and is he going to crush this Ling force? Oh, I believe he is going to win this fight, which just straight through Lings alone. She's going to pull back from that. There is a tank and a few Marauders here. He's going to clean them up instead. Obviously, Marauders and Lings don't do too well. Oh, Bailey's coming back for the Marines, and they do clean it up, and this entire army is completely decimated. Like I said, you let Sir get ahead. I mean, that early pressure from Rossi was great. He killed the hatchery. He got a small lead from that. But from then, he's just like, yeah, he's assuming that Zerg building drones and him building SCVs is even. That push, he just says, you know, that push, was it even worth it? No. Oh, the SCV, okay. Marine SCV all in. Still, the problem with that Marine SCV all in, why it didn't win the game automatically, is because it didn't kill any drones. Now, it was good killing the hatchery, don't get me wrong. He had a slight lead from that. But yeah, I'm just going over old territory here. But still, we do have this 4th base up. Transfer of drones over there. And Pig is looking pretty unkillable now. Just checking supplies. Currently 115 to 111. And it seems pretty even, right? And you're like, well, how is he ahead? This army, right? What army is there? Income-wise, Pig's on 70 drones versus 55. That is a massive lead. Second of all, Rossi is on 2 base. And this 2 base is going to get dried up very soon, especially with all these mules there. There'll be like maybe 1 or 2, probably 2 more pushes left in Rossi before he just has nothing left. He's going to have to take a base with that. We do have a Banelings being loaded into Overlords here, looking to drop this down, possibly into Mineral Lines, possibly... Well, it could be anyway, to be honest with you. We'll see how he wants to use them. Can drop them onto Mineral Lines, and they do a lot of damage, as you can see. Very clumped up. Mutas here, though. Oh, I actually did not see that. But Mutas are coming in, trying to kill the turret, but the SCVs are repairing it. And just lose a few Mutas from that. I believe he had a lot more than that. But he's going to be able to pick off these reactors as 2 medevacs pop out, too. Actually, probably should take out those medevacs. Pretty expensive units. Marines are stimming in here, and the medevac is there to heal. In fact, oh, gobs. Pig losing Mutas. Yeah, he is. He's going to lose all of them. No, gets one away. Those are expensive units. Cannot be affording to lose them. Overlord drops are making their way across the side of the map. And we have another push here from Rossi. This is actually looks like this is just going to go for the gold. So this is not a push. This is just I want to take this position. Now, the problem with this is this position is not too strong. If a Zerg army came into here, be able to roll Banelings in that mineral line. That's actually really blocked off, so nothing can escape there. But here comes the army from Pig. He wants to clean this up, does not want him to let him have this base. Cleans out the Overlord, loses a lot of Lings from that siege tank. And he's got a lot of Overlords here as well. But anyway, we do have Banelings being dropped in the mineral line here. The SCVs do get out, obviously. There is a siege tank around somewhere, which I cannot see. Or maybe it's just the bunker killing all that off. But that's a bit unfortunate. Didn't do any more damage than that. But still, it's worth a try. It's worth keeping the terror on his toes. Still got another drop here as well, in case he does need that. He can pull that in at any time, obviously. But the turrets make it quite difficult, though, obviously. Turrets plus units, obviously. If you try and drop on top of it, there's a chance the Overlord will die first. So something you can do is throw a few dummy Overlords in there. Get like 2 or 3. Throw the empty ones in there first, and then drop in the middle line. We do have here a drop here from Rossi. Does try and take out the... actually cancels a 5th base here. But unfortunately, his dropship's going to get taken out. 4 Marines get out, and that entire army there is just going to easily clean that up. And Rossi right now, not looking too strong, could I say. Supplies are even somehow. It looks crazy. It's like, really? Even supplies? Now, Harvester-wise, is also, you know, our Pig's ahead. Rossi's behind, which means his army's bigger. We have another drop over here into the main. Looking to take out some tech structures. Also spots the Greater Spire. Now, I was waiting for this. Now, taking the gold position here on Metalopolis as this gets cleaned up is risky. Because this whole position here is very, very vulnerable to Broodlords right here. Trying to kill these Broodlords without Vikings is next to impossible. And I don't see any Vikings in production here from Rossi. You do need Vikings when you spot that Greater Spire. Speaking of Broodlords, they are morphing somewhere. Where are they morphing? There they are, right there. So they're morphing in his own base to be safe. I'd morph them up here. They're very slow units, personally. But that's me. Each their own. This base still hasn't been taken by Rossi, and that's actually surprising. Usually you see it taken quite early. But a lot of Banelings here. Ooh, wow, that is a lot of Banes. But these three Broodlords are going to force some action. Now, what they're going to do is they're going to force the siege tanks to unsiege, or they're going to shoot their own SCVs, I would believe. Obviously, they target anything they want. Oh, we have a drop load up as well, but still. The Broods, as you can see, the siege tanks doing more damage to that refinery than the actual Broodlords are themselves. Look at this, all the SCVs in there just taking shots from those tanks. And that's what they do. You have to unsiege when you see the Broodlords, otherwise you end up killing your own units. Now, it might not seem a big deal in this refinery, as he starts pushing forward and hitting the tanks and the turrets, it starts becoming a problem. Now, at some point, he's going to stim and run forward and try and kill stuff. Actually, never mind. He's not going to try and do that. Here come the banelings, just taking out that. Well, just taking everything out. He's going to run away from that, losing a lot of banelings as he runs away there. And the actually going to come in again. Fungal growths, they're going to go down. Fungals go down, but no banelings are there to clean up, unfortunately. And that army is will actually lose a lot of marines to that fungal growth there. Vikings are out to deal with the Broodlord, so we'll clean this up. But at what cost? He has obviously killed the Zerg army, but they can rebuild. They're on 5 base right now. But you've lost your 3rd base. Your 2nd base is starting to get mined out. Your main is, well, let's face it, you're not mining from it at all, even though there are a few minerals there. So if you can't get this base up at all, you are dead. Rossi's saying, that's not fair. I'm sorry, Rossi. I'm sorry. Who would have thought a game where a Marine SCV all-in turned into a long macro game? Still, Broodlord, one Broodlord stop at least. In fact, Ling's being loaded into that Overlord. We do have Ultralisks out somewhere. I did see them building. Here they are. They are 3-1. Haven't quite got the carapace upgrades gone, loaded yet. Bit of a shame they did that carapace upgrade, so really do a lot of damage to the Marines. Speaking of Marines, here are a bunch. This is a very strong push here by Rossi. This is probably his last push. He's not trying to build a command center from what I can see. Take that back, he actually is trying to build a command center. But if he can't do damage with this push, I don't think he can win this game. I think this will just be GG if he doesn't do well. Still, he can. He's got a good comp. He's got a good position. But here comes some ultras. Few banelings there connect with the Marines. Lings wrap around the Marines there, and all the tanks are dead. And this is getting cleaned up here. And I cannot see Rossi's lost this push, obviously. And like I said, I cannot see him winning this game. He's lost his army. There are still 5. Is that 5 or 6 ultras? 6, you know what? If it was 5, he'd be okay. If it was 6, no, of course, he's pretty much out of the game. Checking supplies right now, it is currently 164 for Pig versus 100 for Rossi. That's a massive, massive difference. He's trying to harvest from here as well. Has all that gold mineral, so he's going to get a nice spike in a second here, but still only on 2 base, which is terrible. We do have those banelings there trying to drop it. Oh, it does get taken out there. Very expensive Overlord there. We do have Pig also taking another base down here. Very sneaky. He's like, yeah, I'll just take the map. It's fine. We do have Infestors out as well now, which is good. Infestors, obviously, in fact, well, there was a drop here that did take this out. In fact, the drop's going to happen again, and nothing's in the way. A few free drone kills there, but it looks like a counter push is going to go on. This is what's important. In fact, pulling back for the drop. Interesting choice. But, I mean, Rossi's just dead. I mean, he might be cute and taking out all these drops and stuff, but I can't see him stopping this push at all. What's he got as far as army goes? Literally 4 Marines, from what I can see. And surprisingly, those 4 Marines do chase away those Ultras for a little bit. And they're going to move up here into this base. And there are a few Marines there too, but Ultras here are just catching these SCVs. And even if Vegetarian's going down, they are very good units, actually. There's the GG from Rossi, realizing he's that far behind. And really, he lost the game a while ago. The Marine SCV all-in was cool, but you got to follow up with pressure. You can't just like, oh, pull back and macro till 15 minutes. You need to, because the way to get back in the game is to just drone up. Anyway. That was the game 2 of the grand finals of the City Hunter StarCraft 2 Charity Relief Tournament. Game 3 will be up next. Definitely check out that video. It should be a pretty good game. See if Rossi can pull back the series after being down 2-0. Thanks for watching.